Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, and we're live here at the Logan Power Show doing another exclusive interview of what's going on in the great state of Kentucky. It's great to others, but not be great to people that are going through right now. People are going through some tough times, still fighting social injustice. I have a gentleman here who's been boots on the ground. They're going on day number 58 plus. They've been on there like 50 days plus for the senseless killing of Miss Breonna Taylor. For people who have not followed up on this particular investigation, young ladies in her home, the police broke down and raided into her house. No warrant, no nothing like given, and her life was taken. This type of stuff, it's definitely unfortunate, but we want justice to be served. We're just saying the reason why we mention justice is because it could happen to anybody. It's not like someone was walking on the street. It's not like somebody was doing something that's out of turn. They're in their own place of residence. So I got with me a gentleman who's been on the ground fighting for social injustice, the one and only DJ John Q. How you doing, sir?
Yo, what's up? What's happening, brother? I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Well, the floor is yours. Tell us about why are you still fighting for social injustice for Miss Breonna Taylor. Explain to us why it's been so hard for you guys getting the justice you need.
So in several parts, man, I guess the reason why you kind of alluded to if this can happen to Breonna Taylor in her home, not breaking any laws, not doing anything illegal, just in her residence, and somebody's allowed to pop up at her house, and the end result being she's killed in a barrage of gunfire by people that are paid to protect and serve us, then that's dramatic injustice. That's state-sponsored murder. People call it police brutality. But a friend of mine has begun to call it terrorism, because really that's what it is. Consider just being at home right now, even while you're watching this or while you're leading the interview, boom, the door flies open and immediately you have to make a decision whether you defend your life or you let somebody, potentially a robber, take it from you. So a very tragic incident. What we expect if wild things like this happen is for the people who represent us, the people that we elect, and the people that are paid to protect and serve us, we expect them to come forward, be transparent, and say, hey, we messed up, and we messed up really, really bad, and it cost somebody their life. Unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing. What we're actually seeing is people trying to cover it up, sweep it under the rug, and act like it didn't happen. And as one of the citizens of this community, I'm not going for it. I wouldn't go for it if she was white, purple, green. It wouldn't matter what color she is, but we also do see that tragedies like these are disproportionately happening to people in our communities, with people of color, communities of color. So that's the why. Beyond that, I'm a person of faith, and I believe God wants justice for all of us. And for us to sit back and ignore something crazy happening to somebody else like it won't be on your door next, it's just not righteous, bro. That's not it. So that's the why. We have to see better things happen in our communities. And one of those major better things is the people that we pay to protect and serve, and the people that we put in the office and elect have to stand up and make sure that they take care of us. The other part being, why don't we have it yet? Well, it seems like, some of it's a political game. Some of it is, currently there's an investigation that's going on. So that's the rap that we keep getting. The investigation was originally with Louisville Metro Police Department. I refer to them as LMPD going forward. They had the investigation originally. The investigation is turned over from the city to the Attorney General. The Attorney General has the case currently. We allegedly have the feds investigating it too. It's a big case. A lot of people's eyes are on it, but it seems like the process is being more and more drug out unnecessarily. If you or myself were to commit an atrocious crime like that today, they'd be at our house really fast. They'd arrest us really fast. We'd be charged really fast. And we also see consistently that in communities of color, we're arrested more, we're charged more seriously, and we're convicted more harshly. So on the flip side of it, we know if it was you or I, we might not see daylight for a long time because of this crazy situation. But the authorities, the powers that be, have the investigation currently. It seems like they're definitely dragging their feet. Miss Breonna Taylor was murdered in her home on March 13th of 2020. March. You can count them months back. March, he got killed in March, and we're still here hollering about we want justice for Breonna. So the holdup seems to be our elected officials and our government are not really rushing that process along. We don't want to feel like they don't care about us, and we want to take the things that they tell us when they come to our communities and tell us to elect them and to trust in them. But I can't believe what you tell me when I see what you're actually doing. So that's where we are in the process.
Gotcha. And for those that are understanding the magnitude by it, Miss Breonna Taylor's situation is going just as long as the Walter Scott killing. I'm in South Carolina and in North Charleston. Now keep in mind, Miss Breonna Taylor's situation and Mr. Walter Scott is sort of similar. If there wasn't any type of video footage or the summary of it, and what you don't understand is, like, when you do a police report, you got to be like, dot your I's, cross your T's. What happened? So if you came into somebody's house and you say, this is the house I'm supposed to go to, okay, first you got to have evidence. What they have in it. They have drugs, possession of guns, or they was it a sex ring? What's going on? They forfeited money, things like that. Turned out that wasn't the case. That's like me coming in, like we recording right now. Someone is busting in the door, busting in
Right.
Mr. John's door as well, and we're just
Mhm.
sitting here, this in our house. So that is where the craziness of it all is
Mhm.
becoming. Is becoming like, well, it shouldn't have happened, but it did happen, and let's move on because we can't explain it right now. We trying our best to sort of stretching this thing out as much as we can, because the problems that we haven't had is, you haven't said who all was in the raid, so you don't have people's
Yep.
names. So that's the thing. So you can literally have people still doing what they do with no accountability. That is a
Yeah.
part that's very scary. It means you can literally have an officer who's literally on the road, back on the beat, committed this heinous situation, and they're still getting paid. While I'm gonna be straight. If I were to commit this, like Mr. John said, if he committed it, we did the same thing. We come and bust into
It's
somebody's house.
over.
It's
Yeah.
over, because what's gonna happen is, number one, I'm not gonna be in front of a grand jury to saying either it was did he follow the law, things like that. No, slap that book, nice probation. No, my bond would probably be way beyond what I could afford,
Mhm.
and the media would have slammed me down to the ground and said, like, he is such a heinous person, and such the worst person, despite any good that I may have done in the community or any things that I've done,
Absolutely.
whatever it
Mhm.
is. The narrative would have been, oh my gosh, crazy person, this and that took someone's life. So
Yeah.
you said that you guys pretty much, you're hearing some of these politicians speak, but it's going in one ear, not the other, because there's no actions with it. And you're saying you're a righteous
No
person.
action. No action.
And
So
go ahead.
the uh, mayor, the current mayor that we have, um, got in on the ticket of a lot of people who are on the side of, hey, we need to see something happen about this. A lot of us voted for this guy. So he gets in office, and pretty much, he's pretty much silent for the first, I guess you say, year and some change. But then we start to see some things that you often see from politicians. It looks like he's got other interests, and he's not representing the interests of the people that elected him. Then you have a tragedy like this that happened with Breonna Taylor, and then inaction, loose rap, nonsense, just verbal hot air. You're just telling us, we're working on it, we're doing this, we're investigating, we're doing that, and then nothing comes out of it. So that's one. Then the attorney general, which, funny enough, I'm originally from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. The attorney general and I are from the same community. We went to church together coming up. I'm a little bit older than he is. Um, but we went to church together coming up. We went to rival high schools. Uh, I helped him move into his freshman dorm at the University of Louisville, where he went to college. He was an athlete. I took a picture with him on the football field because I was just proud to see, a young brother from my community doing something. A little bit after that, he goes to get his JD, his Juris Doctor, in, his law degree from the same school from the University of Louisville, but he's on the Mitch McConnell Scholarship at this time.
Mm.
So we kind of see the interest shifting a little bit. Uh, and to keep it real, man, it's obvious to me and a lot of people that dig into politics just a little bit that he's being pegged as possibly one of the front runners for the Conservative Party for Republicans sometime soon.
Mm.
34, I think he's maybe 35 now. Never tried a case, and he's Kentucky's Attorney General. No hate, no shade. He's the first African American elected to that position. No hate, no shade. Dope to see your brother doing that, but at the same time, come on, G, you got in there, but never mind. Okay, we'll let that ride. So when the case gets to him, it's the same hot air. We're working on it. The investigation we're investigating the investigation. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's March. Sis died in March. Without this cocktail of incidents going on, one being Corona, without coronavirus going on, I doubt we would know anything about it, because even though we know Breonna Taylor's name, and it's a worldwide name now, like y'all know worldwide, you might not know Demanye Jordan. You might not know. There's a lot of people who've been victimized and had terrible tragedies go on with the police department in Louisville before, and this is, these aren't too far back. My first, I guess you say, the first time I'm really jumping into some real activism is back when Michael Newby got murdered in Louisville. So anybody from Louisville, Kentucky might know these names, and this is over probably better than 15 years ago. A similar situation, he might have got himself into a bad place. He was allegedly running from police, but all of the bullets they recovered from him came out of his back. Make that make sense? So we've got a long standing of tragedies and incidents and things that don't get investigated properly, and nobody being held accountable when it comes to the law enforcement here in our area, doing terrible things, and nobody gets arrested, and nobody gets a slap on the, if anything, they might get a slap on the wrist, but very few people actually get held accountable for the things that they've done around here. And it's just terrible. And beyond being tired of seeing it, and beyond it being, I don't want it to happen to me, if you're employed and we take care of you through our taxes to make sure that you protect and serve, where's the protect and serve at when it comes to people in our community? Some people don't want it to be a race issue. Some people don't want it to be, a class issue. But you definitely see, again, these are stats. Hope nobody's feelings are hurt by what we see as being the truth, because it is the truth. We're not going to debate on none of this stuff. The stats say we get pulled over more, we get charged higher, and we get sentenced higher than our white counterparts. And if in the event that something crazy like this does happen to a white person, or sometimes people of just other colors, other heritages, the cops get locked up. But when it's us, they don't. So let's call it what it is. We got a lot of work to do.
Got a lot of work to do, and for those that don't understand how much work needs to be done, let's give an instance that happened in the same state that George Floyd died in. That's the same state that the African police officer who shot the white lady, same happened. He got sentenced to 12 years. 12. The situation with Michael Slager, same scenario. Mr. Walter Scott took a couple years. People don't know about that situation. His wife still got medical benefits while her husband was in this investigation. Pretty kind of interesting. Now, maybe if our African American counterparts do the same thing. Michael Slager got what they say about 20 plus years, so on and so forth. Okay, but that he got sentenced to federal prison, not state prison. So you got to understand that now the brother in Minnesota, same scenario. He got state prison. He didn't get federal prison. So I'm confused on how some of these things happen. And Miss Breonna Taylor is a civil servant now. That she's part of the group. That's even makes it that's a more of a slap in the face. She's a civil servant. She's not the one that's sitting around like, hey, she's a nobody. She's a somebody. She's part of the group. She's the part of the people that you talk about, this citizen. And the attorney general for Kentucky, I don't know the gentleman's name offhand. But the thing is, sound like a Tim Scott situation. For those who know about Tim Scott, African American senator. But let's be truthful. Tim Scott is not a big advocate when it comes to African Americans. Looks like me, but a lot of things don't identify with me. Certain things he has certain bills in place, certain things great, but it's not all two thumbs up. So it's like the attorney general, and let's be honest, a Mitch McConnell scholarship is. I'm gonna let you know this right now. This I pray to God. Listen, no shade, but Mitch McConnell hasn't really done nothing for the people of Kentucky. If you want to follow his track record, I'm
Excellent
just saying
fact.
if Mitch McConnell was just a name and you said, let me just watch his track record on how does he benefit you, well, Kentucky should be better than what they are just financially. Should definitely be.
Yep.
Louisville, great
Yep.
city. You think about basketball carries that area. University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, that's basketball. So you think about sports. Let's talk about certain things. Kentucky football, Louisville football. There's some things we just talk about. If you just saying I'm just a sports fanatic, talk about the money that flows through the state of Kentucky that you would think you should be here, but it's not
Yeah.
here. And the
Yeah.
majority leader, quote unquote, who's been in office for decades, has never been challenged because until now. So that's why I pray that people wake up, smell the coffee. Not everyone has your best interest at heart. I'm just saying
Absolutely.
if you're just about the if you're about the people, then you're not a Mitch McConnell fan. But if you're
Yeah.
about the money, you're loving Mitch McConnell. That's just
I
being
think
straightforward.
in our
Go ahead.
area, so many people get used to the name, and you get used to people campaigning in your area, and you let people get endorsed by other people. So you believe in them because such and so said that they own and they're taking care of people. When you go look up the track record of what people are voting for and what they've been doing, what they've been up to as far as the business for the people goes in the state, he's left us wanting in a lot of areas. So we've been trying to get Mitch out, uh, but apparently Mitch has he's been running the right plays to stay seated for a while. We hope to get him unseated um, in this upcoming election, but somebody we were very interested in. Shout out to Charles Booker, Representative Charles Booker. Also a classmate of mine, went to the University of Louisville, and he's currently in the House of Representatives. And we were hoping to get him to be the person that would run against Mitch to unseat him. But Amy McGrath got in instead. But we almost thought we had a brother that was going to slide in there. But unfortunately, that's not our situation. So we're left with, and I'm not in-depth political strategist by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to be hard to unseat Mitch with the lady who's going to be running against him. So we're going to have to see what happens next.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know what DJ John Q is talking about, um, Amy McGrath, pray the best for her. Mitch McConnell has what we call that old South believing. And what it means is
Yep.
like Louisville is considered to be that is a huge African American populated city. Then you start getting to outside of it is when those numbers start acting real funny, and you got to know
Yep.
how to gravitate to things. So, um, Mr. Booker would have been a great pickup. Nothing against Miss Amy. I have no problems with that. I'm just saying that just for me, who identifies for me? That's all DJ John Q is saying. Someone who looks
That's
like
it.
me, talks like me, maybe somebody who looks like me, somebody different in the fold. Because I believe that
Yeah.
it's time for change. I don't know about yes. Now you got into some run-ins with the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department, LMPD. You, and Shay Woolfolk, and a couple of others. Can you let us know the
Mhm.
altercation that happened because of protesting that now's got you guys on we call the Eagle Eye Watch chopping block?
Yeah. Well, the first protest, and I'm short on the dates, man. I cannot remember the dates. But when Corona was going on, I had the series that I was doing called Throwback Thursday. So I'm in the crib DJing, playing all throwback music, and it's going up. We're having a great time. Well, that Thursday, uh, Well, the week coming into that Thursday, the conversation about Breonna Taylor had been heating up, and a lot of people have been discussing it. And some people decided to go downtown to protest. So on this Thursday, it goes bananas. By the time I get down there, police are in full riot gear, throwing flashbang grenades, tear gas. People call them rubber bullets, but what they're shooting is pepper balls. And it's a soft kind of outside situation, and on the inside is this chalky, like a hard chalky mix of some chemical agent that makes it hard to breathe and makes your eyes sting. But people call them rubber bullets. But they hurt when they hit you. If you knew the protesting, then things hurt. So they're in full riot gear. They're shooting people with pepper ball guns, tear gas, shields. They're pushing people. They're assaulting people. It was wild. That was day one. That was day one. Days to ensue, the same situations continued to happen. Weeks beyond that, you have people that have been arrested. I think the count now is up. It's over 350, if I remember correctly. Over 300 people arrested for peaceful protesting, and I'm not talking about people that broke out windows or defaced property or was beating people up or arguing with other protesters or had some weed on them or that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about people that were peacefully protesting and doing things that apparently the police don't like. Now, in all of these incidents with all this going on, because like you said, we're up to day, like I think today's like 59 in the consistent protests that we've had going on. With that being said, at some juncture, they go directly at private media. Now, LMPD has released a statement to say, no, we never would go after private media. We don't want to step on anyone's First Amendment. We have no issue with private media. But the night in question, and I don't do media myself, but being around, I guess they just, figure our faces out because the same people's always around. But they are pushing people out of the park, and they're telling people that they have to be on the sidewalk. Shay K is on the sidewalk. Shay Wolfer, they call her Shay K here. Shay K is on the sidewalk. Jason Downey, who is another guy who does live streaming, is on the sidewalk. Maxwell Mitchell is on the sidewalk. And when the police start to push in riot gear, and they're grabbing people and throwing them on the ground, taking their phones out of their hand as they're live streaming and arresting them, including independent media. So their claim was, well, we didn't know who was independent media and who wasn't, which is nonsense because they use their lives as evidence. They use their lives for news clips. They use their lives to run back and use information and all this other stuff. They know who's live streaming is what the bottom line is. And when they pulled up on some of the people on different days, they've called them by their name. So Shay, for instance, hey, Shay, you just called her by her name, bro. How you know her name? I thought y'all didn't know who she was. Hey, Maxwell, could you step back? Y'all just said y'all didn't know who he was, but y'all calling him by his. So, yeah, they went after independent media. What we've consistently seen, I guess a great way to explain it, is we're protesting racial injustice, systematic racism, police brutality, domestic terrorism. And when we protest all of these principles, the police get more brutal. They show us more racial injustice. They show us more domestic terrorism. And it just like, if anything, you're showing us that certain people don't matter. Well, we should say all lives matter. Well, our lives ain't having these situational occurrences and these issues and systematic racism go on. It's black people. So that's why, for those who don't know, because that's still something we got to fight against every day on social media. Y'all just love that all lives matter stuff, boy. But yeah, so we're out protesting, being peaceful, and they're grabbing certain people. And I won't mention anybody's names because I don't know if cases are open or anything like that. But if you athletic and you in shape, now's a good time to be a live streamer because one of my buddies hit 50 miles an hour going down the street one time and got away from him. Peoples, I'm just saying. But yeah, man, it's a lot going on, and for them to target specific people but claim that they don't know the people, it's just, to me, the system showing us that I guess y'all think we stupid and y'all don't care about us. Well, I know y'all think we're stupid and you don't care about it, but that's just a smack in the face to show us even more. You don't care about us and you think we're just stupid and we don't know what's going on either.
Gotcha. So the people who are on the outside, what I mean by the outside, I'm in South Carolina, you in Kentucky, and what we don't want, this is what we don't want. We don't want people from the outside trying to depict the picture that's the people who's living there in the inside. So how can people from the outside help with you all in the inside who's dealing with it on a daily basis? What can we do to make your voices be heard?
Of course, amplify the situation, amplify the issues. If Breonna Taylor is a hashtag, don't use Breonna Taylor's name or Justice for Breonna or hashtag Black Lives Matter to post cute selfies. Make sure if you're using those hashtags, one, please use them. Like, please use them because they help us amplify our voices. But please use them directly for those purposes. So social media is a huge platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever. Um, Pictures or just anything that you can do positive to amplify the work that's going on here and the current injustice that we see, because nobody's been arrested yet for this young lady's murder. One guy's been fired, but he's still not been arrested. Breonna's law has been enacted, but he's still not arrested. Like, Louisville's come together, and Louisville has been such a dope, close-knit community. We got our issues now, but you can just see the community just coming alive around this terrible tragedy. But what we could use is more people amplifying it outside of where we are. There's also places where I'm trying to think of when the last time I posted on my own social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at DJ John Q. I'll make my next post on my social media, the numbers that can be called of the Attorney General or the Attorney General's office, the mayor's office, the governor's office, other representatives that actually deal with legislation and policy in the city. If we keep bothering these people, we keep calling them, we keep petitioning, we keep showing up at their offices, we keep having peaceful protests around wherever they are, where they're going to be, where they work at, where they live at, things like that. We just have to keep our voices amplified. Everybody that cares about this issue, cares about systematic racism, people that care about Black Lives Matter, the movement. I know some people are with or not with the organization that's here and there for me, but the movement of us standing up to make sure we're pushing this, to make people understand that Black Lives Matter, and we're going to stand up for Black lives. Anything that you can do to have your voice be heard. If you see people sharing things with phone numbers on them, please call the numbers. A lot of people would just share it, but actually call the numbers. Spend some time in your day, whether it's a lunch break. You ain't got to call 50 times, even though we'd love you to call 50 times. But call the Attorney General's office as many times as you can, and the mayor's office as many times as you can, and the police departments as many times as you can, demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. They know what the issues are. We also have demands. There's a 10-point demand list just for the Breonna Taylor situation that's going on. A lot of people that are tied into it also share it. You can also find that on my social media at DJ John Q. The 10 points are in detail on what we're looking for. Some of those are for the cops to be fired and arrested, snatch their pensions from them. They don't need to get no pension off of us. Also, for a review board, a review panel of citizens. We're looking for a review board of citizens to be put together and for them to work directly with Louisville Metro Police Department. So when situations like these happen, the police aren't investigating themselves. The citizens are part of this investigative process, and they get to have a say-so in the boardrooms where people are trying to sweep things under the rug. So again, what can you do wherever you are? You can help us with amplifying what the issue is great. And I love the people at Until Freedom that came down and got arrested on the Attorney General's lawn with us. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. You know I love y'all, man. But everybody don't have it to pull up to come to Kentucky and get arrested. So if you can't do that, you can repost something on social media. You can make a phone call. You can sign a petition. You can do things that are really annoying the establishment and making people pay attention to us. And they do work. They really do work. Also, if you know some organizations that are on the ground and you want to donate, maybe you got some money, send some money. Maybe you got some resources, some water, or I don't know, some snacks, gloves. At one point we were asking for masks because so many people were still outside during the corona situation going on. In the park at 6th and Jefferson daily. It's called Justice Square. We've nicknamed it Injustice Square or Breeway. We're down there daily. Somebody's down there daily, either protesting or just being outside. It's an active occupation protest that happens there every day. So if you're anywhere in the area or you know some people in the area, you can send resources to make sure that we have ice for water, so because people be out there till they pass out. Like this is pretty serious. Ice, water, snacks, anything like that. What else? What else? What else? If you're a professional, you're a law professional. If there's anything that you can do to assist with the efforts, there are lawyers that are already active and got the situation going on, so they don't need legal representation. But if there's something that you can do in law to tell some other, maybe you know great protesting points. You know the law. Maybe you can help us out with protesting points to help people not get locked up. Or every now and then we need lawyers to help get people out of jail because some people protest till they get locked up. You know, if you can participate in the law process here, whatever you do, there's something that you do that I don't, that I do that you don't, whatever you can add to the situation, whatever your gifts, talents, treasures, whatever it is, anything that you can add to it, please add it to it. And if you're lost, like, I don't know what I can do, what can I do? Make some phone calls, sign some petitions, and share some social media posts that you know are directly connected to what the situation is.
All right. Well, you heard it here at the Logan Power Show. First and foremost, first-hand interview status with the DJ John Q here in the Logan Power Show. We appreciate you for coming on. We appreciate everybody who's going to be watching us and watching us right now. I want y'all to stay in the fight. Understand this: the Birmingham bus took a year.
Yep.
Took a year. So if you want change, it's going to take you in November making the right choices. And then after that, whoever you put in there, hold them accountable. That's all I ask. So that's what we got to do. Hold people accountable. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love you. We see you soon.